I recently discovered a completely unknown aircraft, at least by me, that is somehow so obscure, while at the same time being a variant of the incredibly well-known MiG-21. In this video, I will be taking a closer look at the MiG-21I, a later version of the MiG-21 that incorporated a range of advanced technologies and helped to kick off the development of advanced delta wing aircraft design. Join me as I explore the history and legacy of this groundbreaking aircraft and discover how it paved the way for one of the largest supersonic aircraft of all time. On July 26, 1963, the Tupolev company began work on the famous Tu-144, which would become the world's first commercial supersonic transport. Although the Tu-144 was plagued with many issues in both development and commercial use, one of, if not the biggest, issue was the wing design for the aircraft. While the concept had always called for a delta wing design, the problem was that a conventional delta wing was great at high speeds. But, without tail elevators, during the relatively lower speeds of takeoff and landing, the design had a minor issue. It had a nasty habit of falling out of the sky. Now, instead of testing random wing designs on a large-scale unproven concept airliner, the Tupolev company had a better idea in mind. After begrudgingly contacting the Mikoyan-Gurevich company, Tupolev pitched the idea to test out their theoretically quote-unquote superior delta wing design on a well-known and already tested airframe. This sparked the start of the aircraft that would become the MiG-21I. The MiG-21I was an experimental version developed from the MiG-21S. Only two were picked straight off the assembly line and modified. They were also called the MiG-21I Imitator and MiG-21I Analog. Both aircraft were powered by a later engine, the R-13300, rated at 6,490 kilograms or 14,308 pounds of thrust. This engine could provide a large airflow for blown flaps, but as the Tu-144 was a tailless delta, no such flaps could be fitted. Therefore, the wing design had to work as well as any other aircraft while having no rear elevators. The totally new original wing was of an ogival shape. The quite sharp leading edge had the remarkable sweep angle of 78 degrees, before curving out to a sweep angle of 55 degrees over the outer wings. On the trailing edge of each wing were four fully powered surfaces, the inner pair being plain flaps, and the outer pair elevons, which are surfaces acting as both elevators and ailerons. The wing was incredibly thin. Thus, the control surface power units were shrunk down as much as possible, which led to multiple issues with the strength and control of the control surfaces. The wing leading edges were also made detachable so that different shapes could be installed as the testing of the aircraft continued, which, as you imagine, was quite helpful. Among other modifications was an increase in fuel capacity up to 3,270 liters, or 719 gallons. And of course, there was no provision for armament, partially because of a chicken and egg situation in which Mikoyan-Gurevich was uncertain precisely what shape to make the wing. Whilst the purpose of the MiG-21I was to teach Tupolev how to design the Tu-144's wing, the program ran at least a year too late to assist the design process. Eventually, Russian test pilot Gudkov flew the first MiG-21I, the Imitator, on the 18th of April 1968. The Tu-144 pilots flew this aircraft before flying the 4400, the prototype of the Tu-144. On the 31st of December 1968, the Imitator accompanied it as a chase aircraft on the maiden flight of the Tu-144. The second MiG-21I, the Analog, differed mainly in that all 8 wing-movable surfaces were elevons. It was first flown by test pilot Volk in late 1969, and most of the second aircraft's flying was done with a large LERX, or leading edge root extension, giving increased area from the new curved front portion. The Analog carried out extensive aerodynamic and control research before going to the WS Museum at Monino. The Analog was crashed on the 28th of July 1970, and this caused the aircraft designers to not act on the suggestion of the main MiG-21I test pilots that they should develop a fighter version of the craft. Sadly, there is not much else known about this aircraft, and it is very difficult to find more information than what I presented in this video. There are some images scattered across the web of a forgotten and broken down MiG-21I in an overgrown alcove somewhere in Russia. It is quite disappointing to see such a unique aircraft be neglected, but I do understand that there is not much of a use for the jet since it has already been tested and flown as much as was needed for the project it was designed for. Nonetheless, it would have been interesting to see how this MiG variant could have evolved and possibly outgrew some of its more conventional counterparts. What are your thoughts on the MiG-21I? Should there have been more development after it completed its designated goals, or was the idea better off staying grounded? Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, consider subscribing and liking, as I am nearing 1,000 subscribers and would very much appreciate the support. Thanks for watching this video, and maybe check out one of my others above. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.